sit there and watch them to make sure nothing happened to them.
And
Then I'd
they
even,
would just run around the house naked.
no.
And how do you see them
How you?
naked?
Because they take showers. They run out of the house, run out of the bathroom.
Do you not have like a curtain?
No, there was a curtain in there, but I wasn't back there watching them. I weren't watching the door. I was out in the kitchen doing stuff or in the living room doing stuff.
Oh, okay.
They would just run out on their own.
Well, that's what I asked.
No, well, yeah, but they weren't running around the house all the time naked.
Well, you
They
know
would just run out. Well, that's what it sounded like. It's like, why would they run around the house naked? Yeah, I was very much overprotective and God crossing the road.
Overprotective how?
Huh?
How were you overprotective?
I just constantly watched them. I just constantly made sure that nothing was happening to them. No, Leanne really didn't pay attention to what was going on around her, and so she really, I really had to watch after her. But it's like even the other two will also, Darren and Amanda too. It's like they get transfixed on what was going on.
It's starting to get quiet.
Huh?
I can't hear you.
Well, I've got the phone outside.
Sound far away.
Okay, how about now?
I don't know. Keep talking.
Okay, they get trimmed. It's like Darren, if he'd have something in a toy or something in his hand, he'd get transfixed on it. So it's like he'd have that, and he'd only be concentrating on that, and nothing else that was going on around him.
But wasn't he like
Leanne
9?
Huh?
You said he was like 9 or 10?
Yeah, Darren was like 11. Well,
yeah.
all of them. Wow, Christ, when I first got out to Washington State, Darren was, he was 6, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd just been the same the whole time. That's the way he was. He just concentrate completely. He didn't even hear it, what you say. If you talk to him, he wouldn't even hear you. He'd be so transfixed on what he had in his hand or what he was doing, and didn't hear anything. You'd have to say his name 3, 4 different times, and sometimes even grab a hold of his arm to say, "Hey, can you hear me?" Then he'd come out of his trance, and he only half paid attention to what you were saying. And Leanne was the same way, and Amanda she somewhat had more of attention span, but she was somewhat more alert. But Darren and Leanne were just completely got involved in whatever they were doing. And it was like crossing. It always made me so nervous with them crossing the road. I take them bowling. I take them to the movies. I take them to go karts and to ocean shores to ride horses and stuff like that. And the worst time I had ever had with them was always crossing the road. I hated to cross the road with them. Always made me so nervous. It's because it made me so nervous because they just wouldn't pay attention. Then going to shopping malls. It's like they'd be wanting to go in, and they'd start going off without me, and I'd be like, whoa, and I'd actually have to grab hold of them and pull them back so they wouldn't go. Tell them they need to wait for me before they go. I've always been like that. I'm so nervous.
Mhm.
So we're
So
afraid
what do they
something's
do
gonna
now?
happen. What do they do now?
Mhm.
Darren, I think Darren works at a call center. Last I know, I haven't talked to him it's been 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years. It's been 3 years since I got called.
You're
I
getting
probably ought to call
quiet
Darren.
again.
I'm getting quiet again.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You're
I'm
like
trying to put
cutting
my
it
phone
out.
in. Hold on. I'm gonna put my phone in the closet, see if that helps.
Put it where?
In the closet, walk-in closet in the window. Does that help?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. I've always loved kids, just not in that way. That's why
Mm.
I've always been so disturbed by what I did. It's always bothered me to no end.
Yeah. When did that start?
When did that start?
Yeah.
I hate going over this stuff. I really do. Oh God.
Are you gonna answer me or?
Yeah, I'm gonna answer you. I just hate going over stuff. I've gone over it so many times. I hate thinking
Never
about
come
it.
up
I hate
with me.
talking about it. I know. It started with Molly. She was
Mhm.
15, and she was only a friend at first, and just somebody thought that she would talk to me about her problems, and that she'd have at home with her alcoholic dad and her friends in school, and we were just talking to each other. And we talked to each other for quite a while,
Was
and
she
somehow
a friend of one of your,
uh,
like the daughter of one of your friends or something?
no,
Oh.
she was in a chat room, main chat room,
Oh.
back when Yahoo was going to chat rooms. Yeah, Molly, she was 15, and Melissa, she was 16. Melissa had problems with her parents, and was contemplating doing drugs, and she had depression.
How old were
She had
you during
not
this
like
time?
30.
Mm.
She didn't have depression. She had bipolar is what she had. Bipolar. But I was someone for them to talk to about their problems, and I talked to them for too long.
What do you mean?
And so I started having an interest in them. I talked to them for too long.
Like an interest how?
Like a romantic interest in them.
Like you wanted to date them?
Yeah.
And why were you talking to them to begin with?
Just they would tell me about the problems. They would talk to me about the problems and stuff. About their home problems, their school problems, friend
So you were
problems.
like helping them with school and stuff?
I was being someone for them to talk to about their problems when I should never have talked to them about their problems. Should never have been someone
Right.
to talk to about their problems. I should have just left them alone.
So you didn't say like go speak to a school counselor or something?
No, I didn't.
Uh,
I
well,
should
then
have,
what
but I
happened
didn't.
once you started getting feelings for them?
Yeah, I started getting feelings for them. Melissa, that didn't last long. Me and feelings for Melissa because she actually showed up at my house, and thank God my two nephews were there, my two older nephews.
Why? Thank God they were there.
Because Melissa was 18 when she showed up at my house, but still, it's just I didn't. She had a friend with her, and I never told her to show up. She
How'd
looked
she
up
know
my
where you
address.
lived?
She looked up my address because I had my business then, A1 Septic Service. She knew I had my business. And she looked up my address, and her and her pregnant friend showed up at my house. And thank God my nephews were there because I didn't really I didn't want her to come to my house.
Why not?
Just because I didn't. It just made me too nervous. It was just too
Nervous
weird.
about what?
I don't know. It's just because I don't know. It just seemed the way she acted just made me really nervous about her. She had bipolar, so she was up and she was down. She was up and she was down. So my feelings for her weren't as deep as what they were for Molly. Molly was steady with the way she acted, and her and I wound up being friends when she turned 18. And, before she turned 18, we wound up being friends. So I just wish I never met either one of them. I hate thinking about it. I hate
So
going
what
back in
happened
time
then?
like that. Huh?
So how did you stop talking to them?
Melissa, I just stopped talking to her. I don't know how long it's been since I stopped talking to her, but Molly, I was still talking to Molly when this thing happened.
Oh, did you meet her?
No, she was actually gonna come down to Nashville and see me. She had planned
really?
before I left Maine. She had planned to come down to Nashville to see me, and after she got out of high school, before she went into college. So, but that didn't happen, which I'm happy that it didn't happen.
Right.
Can you tell that I hate talking about that stuff?
Well, yeah, I bet.
It's just there's so much of my past that I hate talking about. I really wish I could have done a lot of things different in my past.
Yeah, obviously.
Before the sting too. I wish I would have done a lot of things different before then.
What happened before then?
Well, I had my septic business before then. I idolized my oldest brother and my sister. My sister is the oldest, but I idolized Ralph and Lori, and even though I knew for a long time that they both used me so they could get what they want, I still idolize them, and I think it's because my childhood affected me in a lot of different ways. Because when Dad wasn't there, Dad was never around. He left Mom with 6 kids when I was 2.
Oh, she raised you guys all alone?
Yeah, for quite a few years. And she met Dale when I was 3, but we didn't move in with Dale until I was 9. And so there was a lot of years there that it was just Mom and us 6 kids. And so I idolized, well, basically every one of my older siblings at the time. But then as I got older, my idolizing Ralph and Lori just never went away. And especially Ralph, because I mean, he was my oldest brother and the only father figure that I had for a long time.
Well, didn't your mom have Dale?
She had Dale, but Dale didn't come around all the time.
I thought you said you guys
He was hard
lived
work.
with him.
Yeah, we did when I was 9. We didn't move in with Dale until I
For
was
how
9.
long though?
Well, Mom met Dale when I was 3. We didn't move in with him until I was 9.
Yeah, you
Dale,
said that. I mean, like, how long did you live with Dale?
well, from the age of 9 right up until I graduated high school.
Oh, so you had a father figure.
I did. I had a father figure, but he still.
Oh, well, you made it sound like
He
you were
didn't have-
raised by your mom.
Well, I was raised by my mom.
Yeah, and Dale.
Partly Dale.
Well,
Dale,
until you were
Dale
18.
Dale never gave any fatherly affection, and a lot of Dale really didn't teach me a lot of things that he should have taught me.
Like what?
Like anything, as far as the only thing Dale taught me was how to work in the woods. That's basically the only thing Dale taught me, was how to work in the woods, how to plant a garden. He didn't take me out and teach me how to do mechanics. He didn't have any sex talk with me. I mean, there was literally no not shit for talking about sex in the house. The whole time growing up, there was one porn magazine in the house that was from when Mary Ellen Walton was in it. They all liked her and wanted
You're
to see her.
cutting out again. I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, this phone.
All I heard was
That's
porn
excellent.
magazine.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Man, it's just the area. When I cut out, it's the area. It's not the phone.
Yeah. Means stupid.
No, means not stupid.
I have service in California all the time.
Well, yeah, that's because there's so much smog that it keeps the signal keeps bouncing off the smog.
Sure.
What I was saying was there was only one porn magazine in the house the whole time that I was growing up, and that wasn't until I was like 15. That was of Mary Ellen Walton, because Dale liked her. But that was
You're
only
doing
in the
it
house
again.
for
I
a short.
can't hear you.
Hold on, I'm gonna put it back outside and see if it does any better. It's supposed to be cold tonight, so that might be why it's interrupting the signal. All right, how's that?
I don't know. Continue talking and I'll let you know.
All right. That porn magazine that was in the house wasn't in the house for very long. So there's literally no talking about sex in the house or when I was around there. When I left, I don't know. So when I leave the house, I don't know what they talk about. So Mom and Dale didn't even sleep in the same. Huh?
Oh, okay, continue.
Mom and Dale didn't even sleep in the same bed when, well, Christ, I think since I was like 14, I think.
Why
They
not?
both would snore.
Okay.
Dale built a big house for all of us kids to be able to fit in. You know,
So,
Ralph and Lori and Roy and Paul and Richard and me. And well, Ralph and Lori had graduated and left high school. Ralph went in the Air Force, and Lori married a guy that was going in the Air Force, so they were gone. And Roy and Paul wound up going out to California with my uncles,
mhm.
and so there was just me and Richard left at the house. So Dale took 2 rooms and turned it into 1 room, and he moved down that room, and so that he would be far away from Mom, because she was at the other end,
Hold on.
and I was right in the
You
middle.
didn't have You didn't have a father figure because there was one porn magazine in the house and not like several? I'm not understanding.
No, you're not understanding that. There was a father figure to an extent. He taught me how to work in the woods. He taught me how to play in a garden.
Yeah.
He didn't teach me a bunch of stuff.
Okay, but what's with the porn magazine? That's what I'm asking you.
There wasn't much sex talk in the house. That's what I was trying to say. There wasn't much sex
I never had
anything.
porn playing around the house either.
There wasn't much sex anything in the house. I mean,
Good.
they didn't talk about
Good.
they didn't talk about sex. It wasn't, yeah, it is good, but when you go without learning it, you don't. You know, when you have parents that don't sit you down and tell you about it, when you go to have sex for the first time,
Mhm.
it's like you're completely clueless.
Well, yeah.
When I was 19 when I lost my virginity to a 29-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah, she had 3 kids.
That's nice.
Yeah, well, she was nice. She was a nice person, but I was so naive back then, and
kind of gross.
Huh?
That's kind of gross.
Why is that kind of gross?
He was 29.
Yeah,
He's
she
too
was
old.
29. She was hot. That's what I was looking at. She was hot. I was 19. She was hot.
So what happened? You had sex with her and you just had no idea what you were doing?
Yeah, I really didn't have much of a clue to what I was doing.
And your parents never taught you how?
No, they never had sex talk with me at all. It was actually my brother-in-law that my sister married. I only have one sister. So I've got a bunch of half sisters I don't know, but I've only got one full-blood sister. So my brother-in-law was actually the one that sat me down when I was 17 and had sex talk with me.
What's the sex talk?
Just telling about the female anatomy and
Like
the male
how
anatomy and the use are made, and you know, and what happens when the seed and
you didn't know how babies were made till you were 19?
I knew how babies were made.
So what's the sex talk?
Like,
Give it to me. Pretend I'm a virgin.
Oh God.